The Politics program brought to you by everybody who supports us at TakePoliticsSeriously.com.
Politics. Yes. Come on. Come on, baby.
So, what happened? See, what happened was, what happened? Wait a minute. What was going on? Do we have did the midterms happen last night? I feel like I got hit by a midterm. Did anybody get the license plate on that midterm? Holy shit, dude. Welcome. This is going to be a shorter episode. I'm just going to be taking questions here from the chat and questions from our Discord about what the hell happened, what everybody's supposed to think about the results of the midterms last night. If you were not watching, if you were under a rock, well, we got a split decision. The wave did arrive, and it indeed swept Republican influence out of the House. It appears as if Nancy Pelosi will regain. She is now the once and future Speaker of the House. However, the Democrats were denied some of their higher profile possible victories, specifically those in Texas, Florida, and Georgia. Meanwhile, the Republicans added to their lead in the Senate. So it's as if we went into the elections assuming that we were a divided nation, only to find through tremendous noise, sturm, and drang that we're a divided nation. So let's go ahead and get into these questions here. Chimera96 in our Discord. And by the way, you can join our Discord at bit.ly/jurydiscord, JURYDISCORD. It is free. It's a great little chat app. You can continue to, have these conversations even between the shows. So Chimera says, on one hand, progressives had a very big night. On the other, they had a terrible night. What's next for the Democrats? Should they lean to the center or to the left? Well, everything that seems to work right now is to continue to play to further extremes. So I would say to a certain extent, although you might make the argument that, socialism doesn't poll well, right? Or the nation is not ready for something like that. If it gets people excited and out to the polls, then it's probably good for you. The biggest questions, the biggest question that I think the Democrats should be asking themselves is, how does last night play out if Kavanaugh is quietly, comparatively, confirmed to the Senate? Because there is no doubt that there was a tremendous enthusiasm gap between Democrats and conservatives right up until Kavanaugh. And then everything kind of turns as soon as Brett came out, spitting hot fire with his, I drink beer, I still drink beer. So if that doesn't happen, and there remains an enthusiasm gap in a lot of these races that were fucking frogs pube close, you would have to imagine that would be something that would have mattered. So that, to me, is the big great what if. Other than that, I think the Democrats did fine. If you look at the votes that they got, even in tough places to get those votes, That was good. It was a very good night for Democrats. They won the House. If I am a blue teamer, I am excited. Full stop. They won the House. But guess what? We're a very politically activated nation, and everybody wants to think that their side is the only one that's really fired up. But that just simply ain't true. People are really, really, really riled up on all sides of the aisle right now. There was also, a lot of state houses flipped. Here's where they didn't get. They didn't get Texas. I mean, Texas. All right, listen, we can talk about Beto. I've been kind of shitting on Beto for a little bit, so I was personally invested for the take alone that Beto lost, just because I thought he ran a very poor final month. I thought his campaign really became lackluster and boring past the summer, when he had a chance to really define Ted Cruz as somebody that is an old guard person that needs to be out. I mean, to be honest with you, here's where Beto really fell apart. As soon as he got all that money, man got $38 million, raised an insane amount of cash in the third quarter. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, ooh, Beto should run for president. Beto raised a lot of money. Beto's young. Beto's so cute. Beto's gonna run for president. No, you're not. You're not gonna run for president. Beto's a fucking loser. Here's why. You had a chance. Man, everything. This is gonna be weird to say, but now that we're into 2020, let's get into 2020. Running against Ted Cruz for the Senate is always gonna be easier than running A, in a crowded primary field, and B, against Donald Trump. If he thinks that he's going to be able to beat fucking Donald Trump in a national election, a sitting president in a national election, with A, his platform that is too far left to be post-partisan, and he is too post-partisan to be a knife fighter, like, get out of here with this mushy middle shit. The real fucking work was beating Ted Cruz, whom everybody hates. Everybody hates Ted Cruz. Texas Republicans hate Ted Cruz. National Republicans hate Ted Cruz. Democrats hate Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz's kids probably hate Ted Cruz. This man is not likable. This was your shot, and he fucking blew it. Now, Chimera points out, maybe he runs for Cornyn's seat in 2020. I think he's going to have a really good shot at doing it. But get the fuck out of here with this Beto 2020 shit for me, nationally. Get it out. Get it out. Waffleovaga says, if everybody hates Ted Cruz, then why isn't he primaried on the right? Because if you primary somebody in your own party, you better hope you win. Because if you don't, you are fucked forever. Eli Expert says, I love that people pointed out that Beto's nickname Beto is a nickname without pointing out that Ted's real name is Raphael. Well, I mean, at least Ted's middle name is Edward. Raphael Edward Cruz. So it's not a fully made up nickname. All right, let's talk about what I am most excited about, and that is this story. I love elections. I wish elections would never end, and we might be able to keep the night going. We might be able to keep the night going, folks. Georgia ain't over. Look at this goddamn race. Stacey Abrams, Democrat, the woman who would be the first female black governor in American history. 1,907,965 votes. Brian Kemp, 1,972,200 78 votes. That, my friends, is razor fucking thin. So here's the deal. In Georgia, if either candidate gets over 50% of the vote, they go to a runoff. That would be held on December 4th. So if Stacey Abrams is able to take that, let's say, 65,000 vote gap and halve it, get it to 35,000, then we have a fucking runoff in Georgia. I might have to go to Atlanta. Just to see this. December 4th. I might just have to fucking roll out. So Brian Kemp would have to fall under 50%. Right now he is at 50.3% at the time that we are recording this, which is 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. Stacey Abrams has not conceded. She is waiting for, I guess, provisional ballots to be counted. I don't know where this is going right now, but or where she goes from here. Right now, 100% are reporting. Here is where this gets icky: is that the man that is certifying this election is the Secretary of State, Brian Kemp, the motherfucker who's in the race. That's hard. I mean, look, this kind of shit does happen. It's not rare that a Secretary of State wants to run for higher office and therefore has to be involved in a race that they are a part of. But at the same time, ooh boy, is this not a sticky situation? Meanwhile, so fucking close. God, I would love a runoff. I mean, it would be such. I will tell you this. This was my dream during the 2000 election, when we had such a nail biter down there in Florida. I was like, I had fantasies, my friends, where we would just be like, all right, you want to know what? We can't certify these elections. You got to do a runoff, and it's only in fucking Broward County in Palm Beach. It's only in the 2 counties. You have to win these 2 counties to see whether or not you become president. How fucking lit would that be? You got fucking George W. Bush and Al Gore knocking on doors, fucking shaking hands, kissing babies, going on down to the retirement home, doing a little soft shoe for him. God, it would be so fucking demeaning, so debasing. I would love it so much. And similarly, man, I would love if this happens here in Georgia. Just such a gigantic shit show packed into such a small window of time. Oh. Shaking babies, kissing hands. All right, what do we got here? There's a we do also have another election that does not have a firm winner in Arizona. Currently, Kristen Sinema trails Martha McSally 48.4 percentage points to 49.3 percentage points. That is the difference of, man, under 16,000 votes. Very, 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 very close. And I think this one's probably going to wind up going to a recount as well, right? Because nobody's conceded in this. This, of course, is to overtake Jeff Flake's seat. Here's something I'm a little, oh my God, I was so happy on the way to the venue last night. And by the way, in case I have not thanked everybody, thank you to everybody who came out last night. That was the best live show we've ever done. We had a gigantic audience for it on Twitch. We, very much, I think, acquitted ourselves super well, and are, I just got to thank everybody who either watched or bought a ticket. And a specific thank you to my wife who helped record it, Tamar, my co-host, and of course John Teasdale, who helped me put everything together. So I just wanted to get that out there. They're all amazing, and you guys are amazing for being a part of it. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Oh, and Christian. Christian was lit as fuck. He was just this dude in the front row, fucking just drunk as shit. And we had a great time with Christian, man. It was fucking great. All right. Let's go ahead and any questions here that you guys have about where we're going, what this says, or just any questions, go ahead and get them in there. I'm going to do a real quick look forward to what this says about 2020. Like I said in the Free Political newsletter, on Election Day, there were three possible scenarios: a big liberal win, a big conservative win, and the split decision. We wound up getting the split decision. This is a vindication for how the polls saw this. It was a lot closer in some races, but everything kind of shook out the way it was looking to shake out. We don't know really what the national mood is, other than everybody has an opinion about Donald Trump. Everybody has an opinion. They are motivated by Donald Trump to go out to the polls. So what I said yesterday was, at some point, we are going to decide. Well, both parties decided that they were going to make this election about Donald Trump. We were going to find out who was right. And the answer was both of them. The answer was both of these parties. Chimera 96 writes, Pelosi is certainly capable and qualified, but in the Trump soundbite era, is she the right candidate for speaker? Should Dems be grown-ups, or should Dems fight? It depends on how much of a circus the Dems want to make the House. It looks like they are angling toward making it a fairly big circus, and that will likely center around Trump's tax returns and the Mueller investigation and all that, right? Just needling him wherever they can. So, I think Trump came out and tweeted today that he believes Nancy Pelosi should be the speaker and that he'd be willing to garner votes for her to be speaker, which he claimed during his press conference was not sarcastic. But, it might be the kiss of death. I think that there is certainly a progressive desire to turn the page on Nancy Pelosi. And she is obviously somebody, her and Chuck Schumer are somebody that have been around for a long time. They are reliable fundraising targets for for conservatives. But, I wonder who would take her spot. I'm not really a big fan of this person needs to go. Let's talk about who you're going to replace him with. Let me tell you somebody who should not be replacing her. Which is like, I swear, man, sometimes people get a brand new shiny toy and they got to fucking play with it everywhere. It's like, remember when you were a kid and you got like your first like sports uniform and you wanted to wear it to sleep and you wanted to go to school in it just because you thought it was so fucking cool? I swear to God, man, progressives with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, like, just let that woman breathe. She's going to be the youngest member of the House ever. She pulled a gigantic upset in her district. I think that she's been very much benefited by the fact that progressives have enveloped her in a warm blanket of enthusiasm, because I don't think she's ready for the main stage. She does remind me of Sarah Palin, not in that she's, stupid or anything, but I think Sarah Palin found out what it was like to go from 0 to 60. To go from, I'm a popular governor of a state no one gives a fuck about, to now literally every media member is going to try to rip my fucking head off. And she got her goddamn head ripped off. I think Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has a lot more enthusiasm than she does experience. So for everybody who's like, I think Ocasio-Cortez could be our Speaker of the House, let her get her fucking sea legs, baby. Come on. She doesn't need to be everything to everyone all at once. I understand everybody's excited about her. At least on the progressive side they are. But guess who else is fucking excited about her? Conservatives. Oh my God. Fucking you would. I think if the two parts of our political sphere that would be jumping up and down if Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez became the Speaker of the House would be dead set socialist progressives and _Donald. They would both be yub-nubbing so loud that they would realize for one shining moment that they had something in common. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I think she has a lot more enthusiasm than she does experience. I don't think she's, I don't know. So that's my Ocasio-Cortez take. Dumb guy 420. Right. Since Democrats were likely subpoena Trump's taxes, do you think that Saul yield, is it Al Capone's vault or a smoking gun? I mean, I think we kind of know. We kind of know what's in his taxes. He used literally every trick in the book to fucking not pay taxes. So I don't think that there's any kind of like, oh, well, here's a gigantic payment from V. Putin in the memo. Run for president in 2016. Our plan is developing perfectly. LOL, crying face emoji. I don't think we're going to find that in his taxes. I think it'd be embarrassing for him, and then there'd be a little bit of a shitstorm about how he didn't pay taxes. But guess what? That train's left the fucking station. He's the president now. So I don't think it would have as much. What you would almost hope when people wanted his taxes during the campaign is they wanted to damage him before he got to power. But now he's got a resume. It's a different story. Yeah, and we also saw the New York Times piece about how Trump's dad used every fucking trick in the book. Dumb Guy 420 says, why keep it secret? Why would Trump have kept his taxes secret? Number one, because he's not going to do shit because the media says so. He gets more out of defying the media than he does playing along with the media. This is a winning issue for him. Oh, and also, let me get into this. I wanted to talk more about the midterms and not about this the press conference that he had today. But Trump went after Joe Acosta. Somebody give me that link in the chat here. We'll go ahead and play the clip. But Joe Acosta is a fucking rodeo clown, and I really, 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 really hate this idea that Joe Acosta is this fucking avatar for all journalists. He's a goddamn rodeo clown, and nobody ever got a good fucking quote out of these goddamn press gaggles. You're literally, here's what a press gaggle, like the one thing that we just saw here. What you do is you ask public, you ask public figures fairly boring questions to get fairly boring answers out of them, to pin them down to certain points of view, and then you report around it. All right? This ain't a goddamn Aaron Sorkin movie. You don't get to, you can't handle the truth, the fucking president. Right? You're not going to beat him on a question. You're not gonna have this big moment where the violins are gonna start swelling and then everyone's gonna stand up and start applauding you. That's not what these press gaggles are. So if you make this shit all about yourself and you refuse to yield the fucking microphone, you're doing nothing but being discourteous to everybody else. Now, is Donald Trump a bully to the fucking press? Absolutely he is. Because he doesn't give a fuck about the press. He gives a fuck about the people that hate the press. So the more he's mean to them, the more his base fucking likes him. And the more the media clutches their pearls and says, whoa, but we're not the enemy of the people, the happier he is. So let's just play this just in case y'all didn't see this. This was earlier today, Donald Trump's post-midterms press conference. He is up at the lectern. And Joe Acosta of CNN is talking to him.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN. All right. And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
If I may ask one other question. Mr. President, if I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President, I was
enough.
going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr. President,
that's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question, if I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have?
I'm not concerned about anything with the Russian investigation because it's a hoax. That's enough. But
here's the funny thing is that Trump talks way more to the press than any other fucking president. He talks way more to the press than Obama did. He talks way more to the press directly, takes way harder questions than Obama or Bush did. And Clinton too. Clinton fucking hated the press. The idea that Trump hates the press, or that a president hates the press, is not new. Most presidents fucking hate the press. But Trump understands that it's better for him if he fights with the press.
Down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
This was a funny moment, though. At a certain point, Joe Acosta won't stop talking, and he's going back and forth. He asks another question about the indictments. Trump gives him a soundbite that it's a hoax, right? And then Joe Acosta keeps talking, won't yield the mic. There's a lady trying to grab the mic on him, and that's why you hear him say, "I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry, ma'am." And then he walks out. So I'm going to play this moment again.
Enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
There's just a little physical intimidation. All right, now here's the thing that fucking annoys me. All right, this then goes to Peter Alexander of NBC. He gets the next question.
What CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead.
I think that's unfair.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible.
All right, so this clip does not have what Peter Alexander then said, which was, I just want to say that Joe Acosta is a really dogged reporter and he really works his butt off in the field. Guess what, homie? You can be an asshole and a hard worker. And if there's anybody who knows it, it's fucking Donald Trump. Like, he knows that you can be an asshole and a really hard worker. I think Joe Acosta is not terrible for what he does. I think he's a fine reporter as far as television news reporters, which are, of course, fake news reporters. They're just not. And I don't mean that like they're fake news. I just mean that television reporters are not real reporters. They just kind of play the role of reporters, kind of like actors. But look, I just nobody gets anything good out of this shit. Nobody does. No reporters get any good fucking answers out of this. And I'll tell you what, at the very least, Donald Trump is really doing their fucking job for them in that he's giving them sound bites. So now CNN, guess what? CNN, look at it like this. In fact, I'll tell you what. Oh, God damn it. I don't have my fucking glasses on. But do me a favor. Go ahead and put on them their Rowdy Roddy Piper They Live glasses on. And then understand that what this really was CNN asking the president, Mr. President, can you please give us something to talk about all day? And the president saying, yes, I'd be happy to. Allow me to oblige by programming everything that you are talking about right now. In fact, I'll tell you what. This is either going to be fucking brilliant or it's going to be bad. But I wonder if I logged in to Sling right now and looked at CNN right now, if they would literally be talking about exactly this right now. I wonder if they are talking about literally what we are talking about right now. Because that's really what they want. I mean, again, CNN is there to sell ads. Ah, fuck. All right. It turns out I'm an Icarus-looking motherfucker. They're not talking about it. Not yet. They're talking about targeting Trump's tax returns. And now they're going to a commercial.
Scarves off, V-necks on.
Whoa, scarves and V-necks. All right, folks. I think that'll wrap it up here for. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. I might be right. Someone's pointing out that CNN.com. CNN.com. It's the number one thing on CNN.com. Scarves off, V-necks on. There we go. There we go. Here we go. We win. We win. We win. Defiant Trump battles press and warns Democrats. Yes. Yes. USA. 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 We win. We win. That's how we're going to end this episode.
Politics, 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 politics.
Again, thank you, everybody who has been a part of this channel throughout the midterms. 2020 is here. Very excited. We will reset for 2020 next week. But until then, support the show at TakePoliticsSeriously.com. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat at Justin R. Young. And yeah, some shows talk about politics. Others talk about politics. Still more talk about politics. But this is the only one that talks about all three. See y'all later. Hold on. God damn it. Hold on. Did Jeff Sessions just fucking resign? Did Jeff Sessions resign? Is someone gaslighting me? I was literally ending the show. This is fake news. Jeff Sessions resigns as Attorney General. This is the Washington Examiner. RIP. All right. It's official on Trump's Twitter that, AP's pleased to announce that Matthew G. Whitaker, Chief of Staff to Attorney General Jeff Sessions at the Department of Justice, will become our new acting Attorney General. We thank Jeff Sessions for his service and wish him well. A permanent replacement will be nominated at a later date. Very big in that Jeff Sessions resigning as opposed to being fired. It's going to be a very tough confirmation. But if you're going to do it in the Senate, now would be the time. Because they did add to their, they added to their lead there in the Senate. It's still going to be a battle, though, and we are going to get all the Mueller stuff. So right now it is Matthew G. Whitaker, Chief of Staff to Sessions, that becomes acting Attorney General. By the way, this will begin a gigantic exodus over the next 2 months. Sessions is gone now. I would not be shocked if we see Kelly gone. I would not be shocked if we see Sarah Huckabee Sanders has been rumored to be gone. The New York Times has fired. Oh, well, that's a horse of a different color. Trump forces Sessions out as Washington regroups. This is a Peter Baker and Katie Benner joint. President Trump forced out Attorney General Jeff Sessions on Wednesday, ending a partnership that soured almost from the start of the administration and degenerated into one of the most acrimonious public standoffs between commander-in-chief and a senior cabinet member in recent American history. Mr. Sessions' resignation, made at the president's request, was being delivered to John Kelly, Mr. Trump's chief of staff. It came just a day after the midterm elections. Dear Mr. President, at your request, I am submitting my resignation, Mr. Sessions said in his letter. Well, I'm sure that we will see much more about this going forward. But until then, friends. We will sing. Some shows talk about politics, others talk about politics, still more talk about politics. This is the only one that talks about all three.
Wave Watch!
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.